Well, another day, and surprise, surprise, another loss for the Mets as they lose their ninth out of their last 10 games, and another one to the Braves. And the Mets came into this stretch against the Braves and the Phillies with a real chance to bury the Braves and to maybe put a little distance in between them and the Phillies. And they've just completely, honestly, shit the bed. They haven't been able to do anything. And right now, they're a terrible team to watch. They don't score runs. They give up too many runs. They don't do the fundamental things right. Although Jeff McNeil made a nice play tonight, getting Acuna getting a little too far off third base. That was nice to see, but it was also a stupid play by Acuna there to get thrown out. He's just not a smart player. He's an excellent player, one of the best hitters in baseball. He's probably one of the dumber players you're going to see. He just makes stupid decisions. And then watching him, parade around the bases after a home run, whatever. If you hit the home run, you get to do that. I'm not complaining. All the people say he should have gotten hit and all that stuff. Who cares? Let him celebrate. The Mets do the same thing. Maybe not to that level, but every team does that. But yeah, we could talk all we want about the regression of the pitching. How the pitching's been giving up too many runs. We have Blackburn starting tonight. But tonight, the pitchers, between Blackburn and the bullpen, they give up 3 runs. The Mets offense, which is supposed to be this feared offense, this great offense, and yes, there's been guys underperforming, and yes, there's been guys that we've had to send to the minors because they weren't performing. But what did we get from this offense? They scored 2 runs, and that's on a 2-run home run by Juan Soto. By the way, in my opinion, probably the biggest hit he's had as a Met, right? To get them back in the game after it seemed like they were dead. Injected a little bit of life back into the dugout. You could see everyone got up for it. It made Ryan Stanek, when he got the strikeout to end his inning, kind of let out a scream and try to get the dugout into it. And then they just go 3 straight innings of lifeless offense once again. And it happens too often with this team. Even on a big moment like that where Soto hits that home run and you think it's going to propel them to do something, and then they just go to sleep again. And I don't understand it. Schwellenbach's a really good pitcher, and he's pitched really well against the Mets other than his last start in Atlanta. But he's not this good. He's not Sandy Koufax. With this offense, with Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor, Lindor had 2 hits tonight. Beatty had 2 hits tonight. But their only offense was really Juan Soto hitting that home run. And it just happens too often. Yes, there's regression by the pitching staff. But on a night where you only give up 3 runs on a Paul Blackburn start, you have to feel great about yourself. This is an opportunity to win a game, to steal a game that you think maybe you're going to lose, where you're going up against Schwellenbach and starting Paul Blackburn. I don't know what the solution is here. I don't know that there is one. Yes, there's some injuries. There's been guys who are underperforming. But after 4th or 5th in the Mets lineup right now, who do they have? Who do you have any confidence in whatsoever? A month ago, I would have said Terens, right? Terens was hitting well. He was getting base hits. He was driving in some runs. He was getting big hits. He hasn't done that lately. Jeff McNeil was hitting very well for a while. He's now back to struggling. Do you have any faith in Brett Beatty or Ronnie Mauricio or, Taylor? Taylor's great in center field. He hasn't really hit much. He's gotten some hits here and there. Now, I don't want this to be like a video where I come off as someone who doesn't believe in this team going forward or doesn't think that they are still a good team, because I do. And I think that they're struggling really badly right now. And you're never as bad as you are when you're struggling, and you're never as good as you are when you're flying high, right? You're somewhere in the middle. But there's obvious holes on this team, and I think we need a big trade deadline. We need a spark. Maybe that's calling someone up from the minors. Maybe that's calling up a guy like Nolan McLean, who's been really good at AAA, to take Paul Blackburn's spot, or, just to inject a little bit of life into the starting rotation. Maybe it's bringing up a guy like Jet Williams, who's been really good at AA this year. Yes, he still needs to go through AAA, but he's doing well at AA. Maybe he moves quick. Maybe it's a Michael Conforto in 2015 situation. I don't know. But they need an injection of life into this team. Frankie Montas isn't going to be that. We have Frankie Montas starting, I believe, tomorrow. I have no faith that Frankie Montas is going to do anything. Manaea, he's supposed to get one more rehab start and come back. That will help. Manaea coming back is going to be a big boost for the team. It's not going to do anything for the offense. Manaea is not going to go out there and get a hit with runners in scoring position. Senga's close to coming back. Once again, he's not going to get a hit with runners in scoring position. Senga's not far away. Once again, you can go through there's nobody offensively except for Winker who knows what's up with him. He's been out forever. You don't hear anything. I know he's running on the field today, and we're supposed to be excited about that. There's no help coming offensively. So I don't know what the solution is here, but this is also baseball. So in saying all of this and how negative I'm being right now, in baseball it can turn on a dime. And tomorrow they can come out and score 12 runs. I know they did that the other day too, hitting 7 home runs. We thought maybe they were breaking out of it. But they can come out tomorrow and score 12 runs, and the next day go out there and score 8 runs and be off to the races, and like none of this, terrible baseball ever happened. It's happened before. It happens all the time. That's how baseball is. And they're not going to be this bad all year. But I think we have to start looking at the flaws of maybe they're not as good as they were when they were 20 games over 500 either. They're somewhere in between. And the trade deadline this year is going to be very important for the Mets. And I think they need to bulk up offensively, because right now, after Nimmo or whoever's hitting fifth, whether it's McNeil or Nimmo, you have no faith in anyone else in this lineup. And that's not changing. They don't have Winker. Yeah, when Winker comes back, sure. But do you really have that much faith in Winker either? I don't know. They need a bat. They need some relief help. I think they'll be okay starting pitching-wise once Manaea's back and Senga's back. Maybe McLean comes up. Sproat looks like at this point he might be a bust. I don't know. He's really struggling in AAA, but they need an injection of life. I don't know where it's going to come from, but it has to happen soon, because they can't continue at this pace forever. And I don't think they will. I think they will come out of it. Maybe that's just me being overly positive, but it has to happen at some point. They're not this bad. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting. I just wanted to get this out because it was a really frustrating night. And it was a night that, honestly, they should have won this game. They just were lifeless offensively for way too long. But anyway, go back out there tomorrow, try to turn it around. And until next time, let's go Mets.